guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Monday the 7th of October 2019. I'm using the Super Occult Hermetic Tarot. I'm fascinated by it. Anything occult I love. The tarot counts as occult because the occultist means hidden, secret meanings, secret knowledge. And this is based on the esoteric workings of the Secret Order of the Golden Dawn. So these were people who worked with spirituality, and they added their own their own 2 cents, to the tarot. The way everyone does. So the way I've designed my tarot deck, when it comes out, it'll be the way I think the cards ought to be. So let's have a look at what this deck wants you to be aware of for Monday the 7th of October. Time is flying by so quickly. I will have all the time I need to get everything that needs doing done. Positive affirmation for myself there. Okay, so let's have a look. We have the 5 of Swords. Then we have the 9 of Swords. And we have the Ace of Pentacles. Awesome. Okay. The 5 of Swords is conflict with other people that's really rather severe. A meeting with your boss which ends in you being fired. You're part of a witch's coven and they all gang up on you and they say, you're no longer part of the club, you're out, bye. It's also competing against other people. Being defeated in being loving and kind. And instead being angry and reactionary. So you have a choice here. The Lord of Defeat. I wonder what the Lord of Defeat looks like. Oh, that's so sad. That's like, I will now knight you, Sir Gregory of the pile of dog poo. The Lord of Defeat. That's so dumb. Okay, so yeah, it's you have a choice. You can either become the Lord of Defeat and say, yeah, I can't help anyone or express my love. I just have to be nasty in this situation because everyone's being nasty. The food sucks. It's raining. The bus has had a flat tire. We're all grumpy. You can decide whether you yell at the lady at the counter and say your sandwiches are inedible. How dare you sell me this? Or you can accept it and move on. Not easy, okay? So there's a potential to clash with other people intellectually. It's Swords, which is about communication and thinking. And sticks and stones won't break my bones, but what? I can't ever do anything like that right. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me, okay? Words do hurt us more than sticks and stones. Then we have the Lord of Despair and Cruelty. Wow, so he's moved up a step. So he was defeated. Now we've got Despair and Cruelty winning. Okay, 9 of Swords. That really is Despair and Cruelty. Because you wake up at 3 or 4 in the morning in a cold sweat. And you're like, oh my God, we're going to end up on the street. And if I don't get a job within the next 72 hours, we're gonna be foreclosed on and this house is gonna be taken from us. All the neighbors will see the bailiffs arrive and get everything out of the home. And what am I gonna do? That is the 9 of Swords. That's sitting in bed worrying about what's gonna happen. We've got Mars and Gemini here, which is little bit unfair. Despair and Cruelty. Not really. Mars can be anger and conflict. And Gemini is communication and walking through new doorways. And here in the middle, we have these swords, that they're all bent out of shape, they're all wavy, because they're they're like, even they have been made more complicated because they're floating around in your head like eels, and at the center is this very dark circle and living thing that is the center of this way of thinking, and the giant steel trap there. So if you try and get rid of it, the steel trap closes on you and it tricks you. Our depression, or our negative thinking, our ego, we've got the ego right there in the middle as well. It's actually showing up in a reading today. Amazing. When you have the ego threatened that way, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but I was in the car and I was still with my ex, and my ex infuriated me with the way we were so different and everything. After 8 years, things that he did, it just made me so irritable. So of course we were arguing in the car and I didn't pay attention. Yikes. And I ran a red light. Thank goodness no one was injured, and I was just over the red light. It was orange, and but a camera flashed me and I got 3 points on my license and I had to pay a fine, which is fair enough. But as soon as I felt the click of the machine going off, I felt this black bomb go off inside of me. It was like, doof, something outside of you has now got control of you, is going to come after you, demand money, label you, the outside world encroacheth. That's what that made me feel. And it also made me feel like my ego had been bombed, because it's like, oh, I've been caught red-handed. So conflict and worry. And finally, the Ace of Pentacles. Lord of the root of the powers of earth. Hooray, thank goodness. Finally, something positive. So what all of this stuff leads to, the Lord of Defeat, the things that really are ongoing black bombs of disappointment that go off inside of you. And then the things that you worry about and that keep you up at night. Those are all things that contain a little treasure within them. Each one has some sort of lesson or has some sort of positive aspect to it that you're missing out on. That's why you're suffering. So here, you will realize the lesson here, the Lord of Defeat. You have to go with the Lord of Defeat so that you can realize that you love to help other people through communication. And when you are able to do that, no more black bombs, then you go and join the Lord of Success. Okay? Your worries and your fears that you're being tortured by, despair and cruelty. I'm never going to make it. They're going to get me. I'm going to go broke. This is the end. Mars and Gemini, you have the power to change your thinking. Meditation is, worrying is a meditation on the negative. So the more you worry, the more likely it's going to become true. So instead of engaging with these slippery little eels of fear, there are 1,000 forms of fear. Give this mess to the vortex that is the universe, that is this circle or this well or whatever you want to see it, and throw it in there, and don't try and control it, and look at the things that really scare you and the things that really make you despair, and you'll understand about yourself the things that are your deepest, darkest fears. Because when you know that, you face them and you make them much less likely to become a reality. So if your biggest fear is dying, then look at death and inform yourself and see if there's an afterlife or not. If your biggest fear is being homeless, then look at what it means to be homeless, educate yourself on it, and actually, rather than having some luxury, ridiculous thing that puts you into hysterics, look at what being homeless means and the charities that could help you out if you were ever in that situation. Or if you end up in a rehab, get the details for recovery groups so that you can get well again. So there's a lot of negative thinking going on, but through that, like a spaghetti bowl, you can pull that apart and you can leave these black bombs behind, these black emotional bombs that go off and drag you down, by being of service to other people, by communicating with other people and getting outside of your own head, which today is a bad neighborhood full of criminals who are causing you concern, okay? So get someone else to go into the bad neighborhood with you, or get out of the bad neighborhood and start doing something in reality by communicating with others. And that communicating with others, the wheels turn, that will, 3 wheels, everything is moving forward. That's good, okay? That's the good thing. And there's a very masculine feeling to this, even though we've got the male, principal Mars, and the male and female, when they come together, they create new life. And when the Lord of Despair and Cruelty has sex with the Lord of Defeat, what's their baby gonna be? The Lord of Sunshine and snowflakes and marshmallows? I don't think so. It's gonna be more like the Lord of the Lord of crushing humiliation. But by having the Lord of crushing humiliation, you also learn the things that you enjoy doing and that you miss, and you also realize that you have certain people you can rely on in a crisis. And the Ace of Pentacles is a gift from the universe that opens things up, and you move forward in your life, and you're able to let go of the negative thinking, and you're able to progress, to turn and turn and turn and turn and turn it around, and let the thoughts just flow away and let them go as your vibration is getting higher, and you can feel yourself get higher and higher and higher, and those worries don't even touch you anymore. And you realize that you're moving forward, you've learned your lessons, the painful lessons of the past. Fine. That did happen to me. I was that person. I've forgiven myself. I've paid my dues to society, whatever it may be. I accept it. And now I'm closing the door on that. I am not going to criticize myself anymore. I'm going to make that decision today that I'm never going to criticize myself anymore. And I'm going to use the Lord of the root of the powers of the earth, who comes along today and says, hey, do you want an opportunity in the real world to really build something meaningful and to be successful financially so that you can grow beautiful things and so that you can manifest a wonderful life for yourself? I think the answers would be yes. So through darkness today comes light. So through the negative thinking finally comes a way out, and you're able to let go of these things. Hooray. But what you have to watch out for as well is that these are vortexes, okay? They can suck you in. The Lord of Despair and Cruelty is going to isolate you with these eels, these slippery, horrible little eels. You may become obsessed with catching them. Don't. Let go and connect with a friend. Pick up the phone. No one talks anymore. Everyone texts. I really don't like to text. I prefer hearing a voice. Phone a friend. Talk to someone. Go pour your heart out to someone. Make sure that you realize that you have something to offer other people, and that your head is kind of attacking you today. And you realize that you get the good out of it. You see your positive qualities. One of them being self-aware, because you know that there's a mess going on, and accepting the opportunity that the day provides you by not being totally self-absorbed and stuck in your head, but you come to terms with this, you put it to peace by handing it over and by letting go. And that will allow you to be aware enough to spot the opportunity that comes your way. 5 and 9 is 14, and 1 is 15. 1 and 5 is 6. 6 is a temporary opportunity, a temporary window. The Lord of the Root is visiting one day, just the same way these two are. For one day only, he's here, and he offers you a way out. It's a doorway of opportunity financially, physically, your daily routine, your health, where you live, whether you go to Harvard or not, whether you get the great job or not, your physical health as well. It's going to affect, because obviously the amount of money you make affects the way you're able to eat, affects the amount you're able to commute or have to commute. If you don't have to commute, you'll have better health, on and on and on. All of that is available to you. Just make sure you don't get hijacked by your own thinking. Remember, just because you think it doesn't mean it's true. And today you're really being shown a lot, and the good news is that you can sort the good from the bad. So have a lovely day. If you would like and use the opportunity that comes along today, if you'd like a private reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. I use the tarot, astrology, and numerology in my readings. To draw up your natal chart, I need the place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. If you don't have the time of birth, order a chart rectification with me. That's a process where I work out your time of birth, and I can then draw up your chart. Once I've done that, I can answer any questions you may have about life purpose, money, vocational aptitudes, relationships, where to live, spiritual progress, health, talents, strengths and weaknesses, anything that you may be interested in. So get in touch, gregoryscott.com. Have a lovely day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.